Hey cycling community, this is Steve Grusis, the Cycling Greek. Welcome to episode 3 of the new Cat 5's. Not all Cat 5's are made the same, and that's certainly evident with the 3 Cat 5's that have joined the team that I direct. Ernesto has been cycling the longest. In fact, I met him about 3 years ago and took him to a 3-day open team training camp at San Luis Obispo, California. Eric, I believe, has been on the bike for 2 years, soon after he and Ernesto hooked up as training partners to focus on organized recreational rides. Those two are pretty savvy when it comes to the basics of the bike, from pointing things out on the road to having a fundamental understanding of the basics of the pace line. They just need a little fine-tuning and guidance in the ways of the racer. David, on the other hand, has quite a different background. He's only been on the bike for 6 months and he's already been racing this season. And to make things more challenging, he lives and works in a small town where there's very few cyclists. He does a lot of solo riding. We had all 3 Cat 5's in this training ride, which included a number of our teammates. While our workout features some strong, steady efforts in this first 90+ degree Fahrenheit training ride of the season, this first portion focused on pace lining. And here's where the difference in background becomes evident. You probably notice that most of the people go to the front, pull through, and slightly slow down while the fast side continues at the same speed. The next person that pulls through does the same thing, and when they pull off, the person that pulled off before them stays on their wheel because that's the protection from the wind, that's their sanctuary. David, who's in front of me, pulled through quite strongly and created a gap. Now I could have jumped to his wheel, but I would have left the guy behind me without any protection. Also, it would have degraded the integrity of the pace line even more. Now, I made sure I was behind David when we started this pace line. What you're seeing now, what David is doing, improved greatly by the end of the ride, since I was giving comments every once in a while to help with his pace lining technique. The 2 takeaways that help David with his pace line technique are 1, don't surge off the front, and 2, when you pull off, make sure you get on the wheel of the next guy that pulls off. After we had fun on the undulating and climbing portion of the course, where we again encountered some more learning opportunities, we're now heading back and we're doing pace lining again. When we first got on the flats, Dave was doing pretty good with the pace lining. However, when we got to an extended riser, we were all different levels of worn out. We didn't know it, but Dave had it worse as he was starting to cramp. After Dave went off the back, the group slowed, figuring it was the frivolity of the tough section culminating with this last riser. I went back to help pull him back up, and then we were off to the races again. The balance of our pace lining with our tired bodies was going well. However, with about a mile to go, and us still not realizing that David was still cramping, he dropped off.
I'm going to wait for David and ride in with him.
Got it, guys. All right.
Okay, good job, guys.
I understood what you were saying perfectly. My right calf literally cramped.
Hey, this is a tough course on a hot day, and this is a reasonably fast group. Good job all the way around. So a couple things.
On our warm down and back at the cars, we talked about various aspects of that day's training ride and racing in general. One of the most important things discussed that I think will get him the greatest benefit is what he can do technique-wise to get away from pedaling in squares and employ full circle spinning. Just to be clear, it's not only me helping these new Cat 5's. My teammates are modifying some of their workouts in order to help. I hope you got something out of this. Remember, they're part of our future. Comment, like, subscribe. The Cycling Greek.